guys, I get so excited when I have a new recipe, and I've been getting tons of requests to share this recipe for my lemon chicken soup. And so I figured I'd just do a little video on it. Now, I went back and forth. Do I do a quick little video so I can just show you stuff, or do I just make the whole thing and then you can just zip through whatever bores you? So I figured I would just leave the video rolling the whole time, and so then you could see like the whole process. So here we go. This is my lemon chicken soup. We use rice cauliflower instead of white rice. And what you're gonna start with is, I love better than bouillon. I keep it in my fridge, and you just add 1.5 tablespoons to 4 cups of hot water. See that water cooler in the corner right there? That's got like instant hot on it. If you wanna microwave your water or boil your water, you certainly can, but this is just sort of like my easy peasy way to do this. Now, when I'm really in a crunch and I just realized that I'm almost out of my better than bouillon, I keep these, just regular old bouillon cubes. I keep these in my cupboard, and there's no shame in using bouillon cubes. So I realized that I only have about half the amount that I need in my better than bouillon, so I am gonna use half better than bouillon and half bouillon cubes. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. And I have already put in 2 of my cubes into my hot water. I've got a nice big yummy stock pot here, and it's, you know, you can use anything that you have on hand. I just like this stock pot because it's like a heavy cast iron, and for some reason it just makes me feel more fancy in the kitchen. So I'm gonna let those sit for just like a quick hot second, and then we'll do that also in a second. One of the bases to this soup is egg yolks, so I'm gonna separate my eggs from egg whites and egg yolks, and I'll save the egg whites for something else later. And these egg yolks are gonna go directly into my blender. I'll put that there. Have you guys ever seen this? It's super easy to separate eggs. You crack them, and then you very gently pull them apart, and then you just kind of go doot, back and forth, get all the egg whites out of there, and then you just pop in the yolk. I've also got my garbage bowl. Keep it close by. Thanks, Rachel Ray, for teaching me how to do that. Super easy to not have to go to the garbage can every 5 seconds. You just keep everything in a little garbage bowl right to the side. You see how I'm doing that? Just pulling all the egg whites off, dumping the egg yolk right there. And then I've got, there's 3. So one of the things that I love about this soup is that I can go to Costco and get a $5 rotisserie chicken, and I can go to Trader Joe's or even just Ralph's or Pavilions or Kroger's, and they have riced cauliflower already in the bag, and I just keep it in the freezer. I mean, if I have it fresh, great, but I keep it in the freezer, so I kind of always have everything I need on hand for this soup. So there's my egg yolks. I'm gonna keep my egg whites in my fridge just because I'm not gonna use those right now. And I am gonna set this aside. I'm gonna take my bouillon cubes. Let's see, I'll go with this. So see how these are just starting to break down in my hot water? You don't even have to do this. You can just pour the water and the cubes into the pot. We're gonna get that going and so it's gonna like simmer in there and get it started. Now, in the meantime, I'm gonna take my riced cauliflower. I had one already frozen in my freezer, but then I picked up a second one when I was at the supermarket. And the thing that I love about this is that you just literally take your fork and you just poke a couple of holes in this. Each bag that I get is 2 cups, and this recipe calls for 4 cups. So I'm gonna do 2 bags of this riced cauliflower in my microwave. So while this is going, I'm gonna do one at a time. So that'll go for like 4 minutes, and then I'll do the second bag. And while that's heating, I'm gonna get 4 more cups of water because we're gonna do 8 cups of stock. So that I've already got 4 going, And here we're gonna do 4 more. I love having this hot water. Can you even hear me? This is kind of annoying, but I love having this hot water already here. It's clean, fresh water, and it's hot. My daughter makes tea with it, or I just make instant soups, or anyways, it's just nice to have on hand. And it's a little extra, but I think it's a little luxury for me to have this. Okay, another 4 cups of hot water and my Better Than bouillon. I'm gonna take for 4 cups of hot water, you take 1.5 tablespoons of this Better Than bouillon. You wanna see it? It's kind of like syrupy. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but it's like a chicken stock base. And they use this in restaurants all the time. You can use boxed chicken stock or boxed broth. You can make your own. Like, have at it if you have frozen broth, or if you want to go that extra step. I just have no time for that. I've got so many other things that I want to cook all the time. Okay, so there's my 1/2 tablespoon. So we're all done with that. We're gonna let that kind of meld together a little bit. I want you to notice here, I've got a rotisserie chicken. I just got this at the regular supermarket. It was like 10 o'clock this morning, and I swung by the supermarket and I grabbed, they already have them already there. It's like $5 or $6, and I'm gonna pull that all apart in just a few minutes. So here's my 1/4 of broth, but I'm not gonna pour that in just yet, because to my blender with my egg yolks, I am gonna add 1/2 cup of the cooking cauliflower, and I'm gonna also add the lemon juice to this. So, but I need to have the stock be kind of warm so it tempers the eggs. Does that make sense? So just hang with me for a second, because we're gonna use this, and we're gonna use this in a minute. Cauliflower's cooking. It's time for me to juice some lemons. Now, quite frankly, I think this is probably the hardest part of the whole recipe, but just hang with me, because I have my little juicer. You can use an electric juicer, or I have this handy dandy thing, where you kind of squeeze them by hand. This isn't my favorite, but this is easy, and it has a little pour spout here, so you don't lose any of that liquid gold, my lemon juice. So let's do that. I never really know how many lemons it's gonna take to get 3/4 of a cup, because every lemon is a little different. These are they're pretty squeezy, so that's kind of lends me to believe that these might be pretty juicy. So let's just see, I need 3/4 of a cup. I have my measuring cup with this cute little strainer. I've just put that there because I don't want to have the seeds and the pulp become part of that. Well, these are juicy, so we're gonna go probably, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 lemons, but we'll take a look. So I need 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Just take a second here. Check on my riced cauliflower. Ooh, it's hot. It's getting there. That was 4 minutes of my first bag of riced cauliflower. I'm gonna do another 2 minutes, and then I'll do the second bag. So that's another 2 minutes there. Let's start juicing the lemons. So there's this lady up the street that has this gorgeous lemon tree, and it's just dripping with lemons. And I so badly want to just knock on her door and say, can I have some of your lemons? And I swear, I'll make her a lemon pie. I'll make her this soup too, but I'm so scared about going to ask her. And I drive by there like every day, and she has hundreds of lemons on her tree. And it's been like that. I've lived here for over 5 years, and it's been 5 years, and maybe people are afraid just like me, and maybe I should just go up. Maybe she would like to have me come up and use them, because no one else is. Wow, these lemons are pretty juicy, so hopefully this will go pretty quickly. And By the way, I have an appointment that I have to be at in 40 minutes, so I'm gonna get this soup done and packed away into the fridge and the freezer for leftovers, and I'm gonna bring some to a friend, and I'm gonna get to my appointment on time. So this is kind of one of those soups that you could swing by the store on your way home from work, already have the rice cauliflower in your freezer, already have the bouillon and the stock, and you can use dried dill or fresh dill. I happen to have picked up some fresh dill, but you don't need to. And you can, if you have lemons on hand and dried dill and stock on hand, all you need to do is pick up a rotisserie chicken at the store on your way home, and this soup is on the table within 30-40 minutes of you getting home from work. So again, my garbage pail is right there. Let's see how much lemon juice I got. Wow, that's a lot. So I'm gonna pour this right through my strainer. Again, I need 3/4 cup of lemon juice. Let's see how much I get. There's my cauliflower going off again. Let's take a look. Oh yes, thank you, ma'am. Okay, there's my rice cauliflower. Ow, it's hot. I'm gonna just leave that there. I'm gonna do the second pack let's do it for 5 minutes and just see how it goes. Because you're gonna cook the cauliflower in the soup also, but I kind of want to get it started over here. So we'll do that one for 5 minutes. About 1/2 cup of lemon juice. So let's do 2 more lemons and see how much lemon juice I get. Let's get this back here. So this little squeezer juicer thing that I got, I think I got it at like the 99-cent store. It was one of those things where I was just sick of squeezing lemons by hand, and it was like $1, and I've had it for probably, gosh, like, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe at least 5 or 7 years. And it's just been like the easiest thing. I think people have like electric juicers, like when they used to make orange juice by hand. We all know that orange juice is super delicious, but just full of sugar. Real sugar, but still, it'll spike your blood sugar, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'm getting close on the lemon juice. And quite frankly, if you have a little bit more lemon juice, I'm totally fine with that, because that just means more lemony goodness. As soon as we're done doing these lemons, we're gonna shred the chicken. We're going to chop a little bit of dill. Of course, you don't need to use real dill. You can use just from my pantry. See that? Just a little dill weed. And I just like sprinkle. I don't even measure it. But I know everybody likes to have exact recipes. So I think I put it, I definitely put it in there for you guys to see. I'm almost done here. This is gonna be way more than 3/4 cup, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna put this soup together so fast, it'll make your head spin. All right, here we go. There's all of my stuff. All my seeds into my garbage bowl. I'm gonna pour this through the strainer. Let's see how much I got. Wow, I got a full cup. Okay, should I put a full cup in? I think, why not? What's the harm in it? I think it'll taste good. Okay, so there is my lemon juice. There is my stock. There's my chicken. We're gonna put these to the side, get them out of the way. We're gonna take the broth, get it out of the way. And we're gonna put this here. Let's do, okay, so let's do this part now. So we've got our egg yolks here. We're gonna put a cup of the rice cauliflower in here. We're gonna put 3/4 cup of, or like a 1/2 cup of the hot stock, and a little, like a pinch of salt in here into the blender. And we're gonna put the lemon juice in the blender. We're gonna blend that all together, and it's gonna make like this yummy sort of thick puree. As you know, we don't use flour or any sort of thickeners usually, so we have these little tricks that we do, and so this is one of them. We're gonna thicken the soup with this cauliflower. Okay. All right, so first we're gonna do is, okay, so this is a full cup. Let's do the real recipe so you guys don't get freaked out. Okay, so we used 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. See, I left 1/4 cup there. 3/4 cup there. 4 egg yolks. 4. We're gonna use 1/2 cup of the riced cauliflower that's already been cooked. We'll use 1/2 cup of that. I want to show you. Do you see how it's kind of like, it looks a little bit like rice. It kind of tastes like that too. So, there. So we're going to pour that in there. And then we're going to take a cup of the stock. And we're going to pour it in there. And then we're going to take this, put it on my Ninja blender, and we're gonna go crazy with that for a second. Sorry, it's a little loud. Okay, so that is ready to go in there, and we're going to pour our stock. So now we have 8 cups of stock in total. Keep your whisk handy because we're gonna be whisking some stuff. Then you're gonna turn up the heat so that you get a nice simmer. Let me see if I can show you this. Check it out. So see, I have my stock. It's gonna start simmering. I love my red pot. Thanks, Peter. So that's that. Okay, wait, let me put this back so it doesn't fall and you can still see everything. Okay, let's see, where am I at? My cauliflower, my second bag. I'm gonna go like 2 more minutes on that. This is simmering, starting to simmer anyways. I'm going to take this is my egg, cauliflower, lemon juice mixture. And check it out. This is starting to simmer a little bit. I'm gonna pour in while I'm whisking. Oh gosh, that smells so good. And I want you to see something. So we've got, it's a little bit frothy. Let's see if I can show you. See how it's a little bit frothy? You see that? Well, that is all the acid from the lemon juice and the egg yolks and everything. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna whisk this all together, and those egg yolks are going to thicken as this whole thing heats up and sort of like emulsifies and brings it all together. So we'll get this out of the way. Okay, here we go on my rotisserie chicken. Sometimes with this rotisserie chicken, like you just gotta get in there and just pull like the whole thing. Look at these chunks of chick. It's amazing. You're gonna debone the whole thing. If you wanna save the carcass and make stock later, have at it. I never do. I just, you know, it'd be nice if I had all day long to be able to cook, but you know, we have jobs, we have families. I want to go to the beach today. I could have an appointment, do some personal stuff. So I'm just getting this all settled, and you see how I'm just like diving right in. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You can wash them a bazillion times. Who cares? Let's see. And then you want to use the entire chicken. Don't forget how valuable that dark meat is. It's got so much flavor and all the nooks and crannies. You want to get your best use of your money. And if you're going to spend $5 to $7 on a chicken, you want to use every part of it. Do not be afraid to get in there and pull it all completely apart. One of the things that my dad taught me when we were little, because he grew up on a farm, he taught us how to debone a chicken, and it really comes in handy to not be afraid to sort of handle all the nooks and crannies of this delicious meat. And it was, you know, it was a great memory that I have as a kid, because you'd get, you know, like he'd hand you a little piece, like, here, try this, and it was just so delicious. So while everybody else was waiting for dinner, I got to have like a little extra bite of something while everybody else was waiting at the table. But the coolest thing was that one time I was with my daughter volunteering at the Midnight Mission in downtown Los Angeles, and we had already done the front of the house where we served the meals, but our second shift we were back in the kitchen, and I was with this guy named Javier, and he was like, yeah, he didn't speak any English, and he said in his own way, kind of showing me that we needed to debone all this chicken, cut the thigh from the leg. So I was like, all right, I can do that, and my dad taught me how to do this stuff. And then we finished it, and I was like, woohoo! And by the way, all the knives are ridiculously dull and so hard to use. See how I'm just like getting in here? He turns around and he's like, no, we're not done. We have this whole rack of chicken to do, and we have like 500 people to feed that day. So we deboned 300 pounds of chicken thighs and chicken legs, and it was just sort of the coolest thing to be able to work with this guy named Javier in the back kitchen, and you know, to know how to do that, because my dad taught me how to do that. So I implore you to not be afraid to get in there, get your hands dirty, because honestly, this is like the way to health, to not be afraid to experiment and get your hands dirty, and it's kind of fun. So, all right, here we go. I'm almost done with deboning my chicken. I'm getting all of this delicious dark meat. My stock is starting to simmer. Did you see how I went over there and I whisked it a little bit while I was talking? And let's see if I can find anything else. Don't forget the wings. Don't forget the back. These little, what do they call these little, I forget what they call these little oysters. They call them the oysters, that's right. They're right in the back. Oh, they're fantastic. They're like little nuggets of chicken that always get forgotten because they're not on the breast or the thigh or the leg or whatever. So we're getting all of it. All of it. Okay, so I've done that. I'm gonna move all of my yucky stuff to my garbage bowl. Thanks, Rach. This is all ready. Just making sure I don't have any bones or any fat. Yeah, that's pretty good. I am going to give a quick wash. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. There is my soup. It's coming together. Check it out. I'm going to add the rest of my cauliflower. Look, just dumping it right in. And I'm going to take the other, ooh, hot, bag of cauliflower. I'm going to dump this one in. Oh, hot. I tell you, you want to get your kids to eat some vegetables, they'll never even know that this is cauliflower. They'll think it's rice. At least that's what I think. Okay. I'm cleaning everything up kind of as I go. What else do I need to do? Guys, we're almost done. This was so easy. Okay, so the last two things that we need to do is I'm going to add my chicken, I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna actually kind of chop shred because I like it to look not so perfect. I like the chicken to look like it was hand done, which it is. And then I'm gonna use the fresh dill just because I already had it on hand, but don't feel like you need to. I've made this soup numerous times with just straight out of my pantry, straight out of my pantry. I always have dill on hand. I use this for so much stuff, but don't be ashamed to use the dried herbs because they're just as good in this soup. And my soup is coming together. It looks so pretty. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do about the chicken. I'm gonna cut the breast. See how I did that? So there's the breast. I cut it in half that way, and then I'm gonna shred it just like that. See how I shredded it? And I'll show you before I fully put it in to the soup. It just makes it feel like it wasn't so perfectly done. So you kind of get it halfway there, and then you can shred the rest with your hands. I mean, heck, you didn't even have to cook these chickens. Somebody else cooked them for you. All you gotta do is a little cut here or there. This soup is so great frozen. I freeze it in batches. It's, you know, that's the other thing. You make a big pot of this on a Sunday, which it is Sunday. I still have 30 minutes to get to my appointment, and all of my cauliflower's in there. Do I have everything? I think so. I'm just shredding my chicken. We'll get this in there. And I'll make a big pot of this on a weekend, and we'll have it for dinner tonight. But then I'll save in the freezer individual portions of this, and I'll pull it out the morning before I go to work. Heck, if I get home and I have forgotten to do that, then I can just pull it out and defrost it in the microwave. But I pull it out in the morning, I just put it right on my kitchen counter, and I let it thaw on my kitchen counter. If you get nervous about doing that, then fine. Thaw it in your refrigerator, pull it out the night before from your freezer, and put it into your refrigerator so it thaws overnight. The whole idea is that you have it on hand, ready to go, and this is something that everybody loves, and you just add a fresh salad with it, and there you go. Easy peasy dinner on the table. That's about as easy as it can get. I don't know about you guys, but when I get home from work, I've been there for 9 or 10 hours. The last thing that I want to do is have to think about what I'm feeding my family for dinner, even though I love it. I know that some people don't. The other part of doing this pre is that on a weeknight, you don't have any cleanup, or very little cleanup. Okay, so I want to show you this this shredded chicken. Do you see how? Look at how beautiful that is. Shredded chicken, and there is our soup. Yum! Okay, let's put this back. All right. So I'm going to take all of this chicken. This is an entire rotisserie chicken. I'm just going to put it right there into my soup. Doink, doink, doink. And I'm going to give it a little whisk. Whoops. And I have a beautiful, chunky soup all coming together. Okay, guys, the last thing that I need to do is chop my dill. And let me just clean this up a little bit. Not that I really need to because it's all going to the same place, but just to have a nice presentation. Better yet, check this out. We're gonna clean this up. Voila, new cutting board. Don't even have to do that. Okay, so here we go. I love these little things. Have you seen them? So it's herbs, and when you open it up, look, it still has the roots attached, so you can like spritz this with water if you want to keep it in your fridge for a couple days. Isn't that kind of cute? And you don't have to use all of it if you don't want to, but there you go. I'm gonna use, I don't know, I'm gonna use like half of this. So I'm gonna take half of this and I'm gonna finely chop it. I'm not gonna do the stems, I'm just gonna do the upper part of it. I'm not gonna get too, you know, particular about it, but let's just do half of this. We'll put the other half of the roots and all their friends back away in the fridge. We'll use that for, you know, I'll probably use that for like a salmon. I'll do salmon with some dill and lemon on it, but this is the perfect amount. I'm gonna show you. This is probably a really good amount, and I'm gonna just do a really rough chop of this. Can you see this? I hope you can see this. I have a nice sharp knife. Thank you, Gordon Ramsay, for teaching me how to do that. Everything I learned pretty much from Martha, Rachel, Sandra Lee. Don't forget Sandra Lee. Gordon Ramsay. It's very fancy. It's a little angry for me. And it just is, you know, lots of practice. And I got a nice chop there. And I think this probably, what did the recipe call for? What did I tell you guys? I said 1/4 of a cup of fresh dill, and guess what? This is 1/4 of a cup. I'm gonna show you. It's funny, like after doing this for so long, you kind of just get a feel. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! 1/4 of a cup of fresh dill. I'm gonna pour that right in. And I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna wash all the dishes later. And let's give this a nice stir. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. You have to see this. It's just amazing. Check it out. What? Are you kidding me? I just made this gorgeous soup in less than 30 minutes. I could have done it faster if I wasn't bothering with you people. Just kidding, I love talking to you guys. But seriously, look at how gorgeous that is. I'm gonna pour a little soup of this, I'm sorry, a little container of this. I'm gonna bring it to the gal that I'm going to go see right now. I'm gonna put some in a container for dinner tonight. I'll just set that into the fridge, and then I'm gonna save probably like half of this for dinner another time. So I hope that you enjoyed that and you got some stuff out of it. You know, as always, you can go to the Kelly Kitchen at thekellikitchen.com to get the full recipe. You can print it out, you can see the nutrition facts. This is super keto friendly. There's very low carb, and any sort of carbs that are in here, they're not processed. There's no flour, there's no potatoes or rice or any of that sort of stuff. So it's one of those like low carb recipes, and it's still warm here in Southern California, but I used to live in Connecticut, so I know it's starting to get, you know, into the fall season where it's like soup weather, sweater weather, and I hope that this can be part of your repertoire to serve for your family. Now, before I say goodbye, I just want to take a real quick taste of this because I just want to make sure it's perfectly salted. I just thought of that. It usually is, but I just want to make sure. And it's so pretty. And you get the little specks of the green. You get the specks of the green, and you get like a nice little chunk of chicken. God, these are big chunks of chicken. You can do them smaller if you want. But look at how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. So pretty. I love it. So good. So good. Okay. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe. Check out my newsletter. I got tons of keto-friendly recipes, and I love having you. So come back and comment, and if you have any questions, let me know. All right. Bye, guys.